this from a place where I used to do some work for a few years. So it was part of a wine program I used to run. And so it's not like I haven't had this one before. I have had it. I love it. I just haven't had it in a long time. So we are going to go ahead and taste it. Ooh. I'm not always a huge fan of liquid sounds, but I did kind of like that. And sorry, I know I've kind of been a little MIA again. I have been dealing with some crazy personal life issues. Ooh. Cork broke a little bit. Smells great. I've been dealing with some personal things, work related, so that's where I've kind of been focused for a little bit. I'm looking to see if the cork says anything that I could like teach you guys on it. It just like it has the producer name on here. It's on Cosme. And here it's not the vintage. It's sometimes they'll put sometimes it depends on the bottling, the producer, and kind of like how much of certain things they had made. Because sometimes the cork that's in the bottle will have a different vintage than it actually is. It might be like from the vintage prior because they had more corks one year than they needed. I've seen that. I've seen corks, and one time when I was at work, I was opening a bottle, and I looked at the cork. I'm like, it had the name of a different one of their bottlings, the same producer but a different bottling on it, and I'm like, oh, this wasn't even one of our wines. This was a wine that someone brought in. And for a second I looked at it and I'm like, oh my god, did they get screwed and did they buy a fake bottle? I'm trying to remember what it was, because it was not a cheap wine. And it was, what was it? It was, it's California. It's a California wine. Oh, I'll remember later. But yeah, it was for different bottling on it, but the wine was fine, and it was one I was really familiar with, and it did taste like it, but I opened it, and I looked at the cork, I was like, oh no. But they loved it, they had a great time, and anyway, so sometimes the corks aren't exactly, because like, they might not have enough or too much of out of it, and they just kind of sometimes seemingly use something that's like slightly different than what the bottling actually is. Anyway, let's go ahead and taste. I brought 2 different glasses for this. You have the universal glass that, if you remember from the Glassware fishbowl video, it's called a universal glass for a reason. Really, you can serve anything in it. These are phenomenal for like sparkling wines. I also personally really like them for things like Riesling and Viognier. And because Viognier can be kind of like sometimes a bolder white, I thought we'd try it in a burgundy glass, because these to see here if this is, yep. So there's these like little specks floating in it, and it looks like sediment or like tartrates or tartrate crystals. We saw different names for it. So not only red wines have sediment, white wines do as well. This is very fragrant. I can smell it from here already. Oh, okay, wait. I hope that's not. Oh, hold on. That was like flowers and minerals right up the nose with this like a banana-like note to it. It smells like bananas. Like, it actually smells like bananas. And it's like a little bit bruised. Now, what vintage is this? It's a 2018. So, it's got a little bit of age on it, and white wines do gain a little bit of color as they age. But let's go ahead and taste it. Okay, I love this wine. Oh my god. Gosh, it has like so much. Whoa. Okay, I'm really glad I waited as long as I did. I've had this wine for a couple of years, like I said. I'm glad I waited to try it because holy shit, that is so good. As it keeps changing on the palate, and that's, I love it, I love it. Anyway, it's so cool because, like I said, on the nose it's like banana, and then like really floral and mineral forward, and then you taste it, and let me taste it again. It's like when I taste it, I'm sipping it, and I smell like the banana coming in through my nose at the same time. But then it has this, like, it's, we call it phenolics, or like phenolic bitterness, is that it's that thing that causes that feeling of like the gripping on the inside of your cheeks. So you get that textural component with it, with this like really round, smooth texture throughout the rest of your palate, and this like acidity that's holding up a lot better than I honestly expected it to. And it's so well balanced. It definitely has that like nice bold texture to it, and oh, this is a really good winter wine, and it is springtime here where I live, and you know what, we had a colder day today, so I will take it. But if we swirl it, I don't know how much you can see the, you know, one trick I have when I do this, and this is what I did when I was like first studying wine. It's hard to kind of sidetrack for a second. I would swirl quickly and then take from like right here in the glass, I bring it up to my mouth and quickly blow at this line where the wine is. And then from there I can see like how thin or thick these lines are. And I don't know, I hope you can see it because it's starting to like fall down a little bit here. And it's kind of like just this little trick that I learned from some other sommeliers in the business. And that's an easier way to see like what we call the legs in the wine. And some people like to do it this way. Some people like to just swirl and look at the glass to figure out, like, is it a more or less viscous wine overall? And when we're talking about viscosity, it's like how much or little a liquid moves within itself. So I like to say, you know, water is low viscosity. It moves like crazy, and then take like oil next to it, and then that's like a really viscous, it's thick, and you can see it, like the thick lines in it, and then wine is always in the middle, but then different wines have lower or because those are things that affect like the thickness of it. So just a little trick for you. And you know what? I'm gonna give you this glass, and then I'm gonna pour myself. This one here. There you go. And see how it changes. First of all, so pretty. So fun. In a burgundy. I have a cat hair in it. It's so interesting. So that one, I get a lot less of that like banana note on the nose now in this glass, and I get a lot more of the mineral. It's so interesting. So I wonder, that's probably going to change how my experience is when I taste it, because like I said with the universal glass, I tasted it, and while I was sipping the wine, I got a big whiff of that like banana note, and now I'm not smelling as much of it with this, and now I'm going to taste it and see, like, I'm probably also not going to get that much of it. That's so cool, because I noticed the banana-ness, whatever, when I tasted it, but not when I smelled it this time. And I didn't notice how much I tasted it in the universal glass because I'd smelled so much of it. And when I went to sip this, I smelled this almost like petrol-like note, which is wild because that's like one of the wines you see that most in is Riesling. It's from, shortened name is TDN, and that's what gives that wine that like petrol note. And I got like a little whiff of something like that while I was sipping the wine, so that's really cool. But I also think that's why glassware can be so important, and people don't always realize that. But I want to give you a little taste, and I want to hear what you think of the wine. So here's your glass. I want you to go ahead and taste. So what do you think? Oh, right. Now smell it from this one. Right, totally different here. I'll give you the universal glass again. Smell from that one. And now from this one. It's like totally different wines. I'm gonna smell again. Totally different wines. Crazy. And then when you taste it side by side, it's like, again, like a completely different experience. So glad that I could share that with you. And as far as like some other things go with the videos, I really enjoy making these videos, and I'm going to do more of them, I promise. I actually have some ideas for like little shorts that I want to try doing. It takes a lot for me to set everything up to do these, and I really want things to be like higher quality. But if you want to see just like some more content, and maybe I try things like I might just film a couple little things with like my phone, and I have some wireless mics that I could do like a different style of like shorter format videos. Let me know, because like I could totally do that, and I'd love to. I just don't want to branch out like too much if it's not really content that everyone wants to see, or if like no one wants to see it, then I'm not gonna do it. But if you guys want to see it, I'm happy to. I just like the videos of doing wine tastings like this.